Hi everyone, it's Saturday night, the 1st of August. July, goodbye. Day 214 of Living the Dream. And here's my power statement I had for today. I will make a video recording of the things that I have done that were mistakes, as well as my successes with my first time effort in setting up a Facebook ad and a YouTube ad so that my beginner entrepreneurs can learn from my mistakes, from my broken noses, and not have to go through them themselves. Like I mentioned in last night's video journal entry, I had to go into Constant Contact and fix the request form that I had set up for this focus group ad campaign. And in so doing, I had the thought come to me that every time I do these kinds of projects or tasks where it's a real learning curve for me, I should do a Zoom video on that subject and show what I learned. And so that's what I'm going to start doing. I'm going to do a video about the two types of forms that I've learned about and how to do them. That way my beginner entrepreneurs can see them for themselves, what not to do, and then how to do it right, which will save them a lot of time and trouble. Man, is that the truth. So if you go to my YouTube channel, Marty Braden, Living the Dream Coaching, you'll see a video I did about these forms and how I set them up, where I mentioned several points about each one in the process of getting them set up, which I think are going to be really helpful. So here's my to-do list I had for today, right here. The first one is the most important task. The next one is my fun task. The next one is my exciting task. The accounts, check the emails. And another one I said fix the new success vitamin. Oh yeah, my 6 vitamin pills as well. You know, I got those down. I'm gonna wad that up. Let me show you. This was the old one that I had. I had a little note to get it fixed, and this is what I got done. The new one. It looks the same, but let me read it. My favorite quote for the day for August going forward is "Dream lofty dreams, and as you dream, so shall you become. Your vision is the promise of what you shall one day be. Your ideal is the prophecy of what you shall have at last unveiled to you." My favorite word is vision. My favorite thought for the day in the T line of my CT-FAR model is, we are literally what we think, and our character is the complete sum of all our thoughts. That's a fantastic thought. My favorite motivational song is Carrie Underwood's The Champion for this month, and last month was The Eye of the Tiger. And my favorite success law for today is the law of thoughts, right thinking. So there you go. I got that done. That is so great to have that done. And my most important task was to do a couple of Zoom videos for my beginner entrepreneurs. The first one was to go over the Facebook ad and then the YouTube ad. And it's up on YouTube. Get it up on YouTube. The fun task was to do a Zoom video on a discovery I had today. While working with the Carna, I think that's what it's called, Carna or Carva program, I can find out. I learned about a feature that it had which helped me so I could make my text boxes and the text in them and lots of other things too, pictures and so forth, have transparent backgrounds. So easy, so that they can overlay on a picture and the picture will come through on the edges and not have the white box around everything like I've had to struggle with. So this will be a video on that tool and how I used it. My exciting task was to figure out a way to get the request form put on my homepage of my website, which is just a placeholder for right now. I'm going to figure that out. I'll get to that. The reason why I say that is I don't want to have the expense right now of having my webmaster set it up, even though I don't quite know how to do it, and he's does things at a real fair price and actually saves me money. I'm just not ready to start building out my website and spend the money just yet. Well, guess what? My two amigos came back with an idea to save money and get the job done. They told me to go up to Upwork and set up a job for adding a form to a website and add some text. And guess what? I had lots of reports, and I found one. It's so great. He's a great guy. He's from Pakistan. But before I get into that, let me go through my normal end-of-the-day success routine questions so I can talk about all that I got done today. Croy Sather says, get honest with yourself, Marty. What didn't go well today? Or what could you have done better today? Did you wake up early and start strong? Yes, 6:37-ish, right around there. Did you start your morning with power? Were you productive throughout your day? Did you get the most important things done? Check, check, check. Obviously, I moved my goals forward, pieces through the portal of my mind into the world of the physical. Did you show up as the person you wanted to be today and that would serve you best? What about your personal time with Kathy? Yes, to both of those. I was present for her this evening, and so was she. She was busy all day, and so was I. Saturdays had a lot. She was up and going and walking and around the block, all sorts of things. Then went out and had errand after errand after errand. So, in summary of these get honest with yourself questions, I asked myself, were you honest with yourself about today's task, Marty? Did you keep your commitments and promises that you made this morning to yourself? Well, this morning I promised myself I would get the form link set up right on the forums, and maybe even get a form put on my homepage using the person from Upwork. Fahad was his name. And that's what I did. I got a man by the name of Fahad from Pakistan. So I'm going to do a Zoom video on that process so folks can see what I'm talking about and see how everything is working out. What's cool is I'm learning how to use Zoom. By doing this, I get better and better at it, and how to save those recordings and to file them away, which is going to make it be so useful for helping my beginner entrepreneurs have these short, helpful hint videos available to them. But all of this takes time. In the long run, I do think, however, that they're going to end up being a very important piece of my content of coaching and the coaching process. The bottom line is, yes, I kept every promise I made to myself this morning, and even more. Even though I haven't pulled the trigger on the ad quite yet, and that's because I decided that I want to have these forms all working properly, and my auto response email ready to go, that's set up and can go as soon as something clicks here, and boom, it comes, which is attached to the website form. When somebody fills out that form, what's going to happen, they're going to hit submit, it drops it into the bucket list that I selected for it, and that triggers an auto response welcome email with a link to the podcast. And so my website form needs to get set up so that it's working correctly. And then I'll pull the trigger on the YouTube ad and launch it. The next question is, what movies did you watch during your mindfulness time today, Marty? Did you make time for them? And were there any new movies that your two amigos put onto the screen of your mind throughout the day today? In other words, did you make any new movies, and if so, what were they about? Well, after I watched my must-see TV favorite 5 movies, I imagined all of these projects with the YouTube, Constant Contact, Carva, and Facebook working right, and then me Zoom recording videos of each one of these tasks and how I did it and how they worked and what mistakes I made and how did I recover them and what I did to fix them. And it's all of these Zoom helpful hint video clips playing on my mind as I was learning how to do them myself. It makes it real, and it really, I think, are going to become very relatable to the beginner entrepreneur who's starting his own business. I also imagine once again what I wanted my website to look like. I envisioned in my mind once it's up and ready to go, which I'm so excited that I connected up with Fahad as a really inexpensive web builder and support person. He's thinking it's going to cost me just $5 to do that on that page. Man, I've always paid a minimum of $50 to $75 an hour. Fahad is going to be a blessing. Next is, what thing would make all the difference going forward, Marty? Another way of saying is, what's the one thing you'd want to get done tomorrow, even if the day goes sideways doing it, you'd still feel a success and that you accomplished something important. What would that one thing be? And if you figure it out, then put it into a power statement so you can start your day strong and set that table for the next day. I finished my workday checklist, as I always do, and my success vitamins. So I just showed you the new one I set up here. I now have Carrie Underwood as my music, and that's the first thing I hear when I get up to my office, and it's so fun. And I got after my top 3 tasks, but the one thing I put down as my power statement for tomorrow, which I think is going to make all the difference going forward, is to continue recording my personal experiences with these tools and with these tasks, especially the important ones, and learning how to do certain tasks that a beginner entrepreneur is going to ask me all about, and I'll have it right for them to look at. So great. I think as my clients watch me break my own nose and watch me talk about it properly and show them what I did to fix it and got it done and show it in a Zoom video format, that will make a huge difference going forward. So here's my power statement for tomorrow and for going forward. I'll continue to make Zoom video recordings of me trying to do the things that my beginner entrepreneurs are probably going to face themselves and like I have had to deal with, and it's going to show them how to fix them. It's kind of showing my pathology of success, as it were, with all my mistakes and then my triumphs. Isn't that great? Next, I want to answer the questions that I came up with, which is, were there any mistakes or failures I had today that I made that I can turn into a tool of success going forward? Well, I think I had several mistakes over the course of the day today, and that's why I think my power statement for tomorrow and going forward is going to be so powerful as a tool for my coaching. I'm going to call this Zoom video review and tutorial process the Good to Know Tips Success Tool. I use this same description in Lesson 11 for several tips on how to build a website in 8 easy steps, and I had special good to know tips throughout that video. The next question is, what are your biggest success, or what was your biggest success today, Marty? In other words, what did you do well today? What can I do better? What can I do? What can I do well today? Well, my biggest success today, I think, was acting on the idea from my two amigos to go on to Upwork and set up that job ad to try and get a web builder on the cheap. And man, oh man, did I find him. The fact is, I finished my number one most important task for today, which was to do a couple of Zoom videos for my beginner entrepreneurs. The first one was the setting up of my Facebook ad and all that process and what I figured out and what it looks like now, and then showing how to set up my YouTube ad with all the call to action, that kind of thing, struggle I went through and what it looks like now, and have those up on my YouTube channel. The fun task was to do a Zoom video on a discovery I had today while working with the Canva program. That's it. It's a Canva. It's an N, not an R. Both of these tasks were important, but I still think my big success was getting my exciting task done today, which was to figure out a way to get the request form put on my homepage of my website, which is just a placeholder for right now. And I got that done when I found Fahad. Once he helps me get the request form on my website, as well as help me with the look and feel of the site so that I have it the way I want it, that's when I'm going to pull the lever, so to speak, and let her rip. The next step of this end of the day success routine that I do every single night is to rate my day's effort. And so I gave today a 10, and I gave it a 10 because I not only worked at the speed of 10 all day long, which is fast for a Saturday, I also worked to give Fahad all set up so that we can get right to work on the website's homepage in that form come morning. Bam. I need it to be ready for when someone comes to that page and lands on it. I want them to feel prompted to fill out that form and get episode 4's podcast title, Going to the Movies, for free right on the spot. I'm also going to do a Zoom video on this process and what I'm wanting to do step by step on my pages so that folks get an idea how to build their own website as my client. And I'm going to show what I do for Fahad and what I present to him and just talk about it and not make some big long one, but each day, each little process so they get a sense of what's happening and how to do it themselves. Anyway, we shall see how well it works going forward very soon. So, bam, done. Today was a fantastic day. Okay, I want to end the day strong. Here's what I'm grateful for today. I'm grateful for the principle that says all that we accomplish or fail to accomplish with our lives is the direct result of our thoughts. You knew that. The secret with this is in learning how to transform our thoughts into reality. From the portal of our mind into the world of the physical. I think most of us by now pretty much understand the process now after listening to more than 213 days of me doing my video journal and talking about it and how that puts us right on the path of living the dream. I think we understand why we are the way we are too. And more importantly, we're beginning to realize that we need not be a Superman or a Superwoman or a Wonder Woman in order to accomplish great things with our lives. With the groundwork already laid and the awareness of our potential so multiplied, I want to ask, are we ready to take the next step forward? I would have to say, not quite. Not until we digest one of the oldest principles of success. And that's this: we are literally what we think, and our character is the complete sum of all our thoughts. And let me repeat that. We are literally what we think, and our character is the complete sum of all our thoughts. So what are we thinking now and tomorrow and the next month is what we will eventually become. This principle is summed up in this short masterpiece called As a Man Thinketh. Get that book. It's fabulous. As you ponder on this query, let me ask you another question. What is it that you are truly seeking from life? Your thoughts will determine if you achieve it or not. Your thoughts are going to determine that. Oh my goodness. The next thing I'm grateful for is the law of thoughts. Man is made or unmade by himself. In harmony of thoughts, he forges the weapons by which he or she destroys himself or herself. He or she fashions the tools by which he or she builds themselves heavenly mansions of joy and strength and peace or destroys them. Power is in our thoughts. Success, love, happiness, contentment, and wealth If these are the things you want, you are about to discover how their roots all grow from seeds of thought, seeds that only you can plant. Now that you understand this great truth and the control you have over your destiny, it's your response dash ability to control your thoughts. Your response time, that dash, is the time we have to make the choice. Just know that the dreamers are the saviors of the world. As the visible world is sustained by the invisible, so mankind, through all their trials and sins and sordid vocations, are nourished by the beautiful visions of their solitary dreamers. Humanity cannot forget its dreamers. It cannot let their ideals fade and die. It lives in them. It knows them as the realities which it shall one day see and know. Composer, sculptor, painter, poet, prophet, and sage. These are the makers of the afterworld, the architects of heaven. The world is beautiful because they have lived. Without them, labor and humanity would perish. So, dream lofty dreams, and as you dream, so shall you become. Your vision is the promise of what you shall one day be. Your ideal is the prophecy of what you shall have and what shall be last unveiled to you. As you continue on the path of living the dream, think great thoughts. I'm grateful next for a man by the name of Stanton Kirkham Davis, who said, whatever your present environment may be, you will fall, remain, or rise with your thoughts, your vision, your ideal. You will become as small as your controlling desire or as great as your dominant aspirations. What a quote. In all human affairs, there are efforts and there are results, and the strength of the effort is the measure of the result. Chance is not. Gifts, powers, material, intellect, and spiritual possessions are the fruits of effort. Thoughts manifested, thoughts completed, tasks accomplished, visions realized. This is the definition of living the dream. Bam! Another fantastic day of my journey to business alignment and living the dream. I'll be right back here tomorrow night doing this same thing, sitting here at my laptop, sharing my heart on another day in the life of Coach B. And so until then, I wish you continued success. Good night.